Do you think with AI that the whole SEO thing, website stuff is kind of dying, or it's getting better because of AI?
They're kind of like going together now. My biggest client right now, Brad, they found me in ChatGPT.
Now, what's the best way of doing that so you can appear on these ChatGPT searches? Would you say that you need Sales Navigator to promote your profile, or do you think you can do it organically just on LinkedIn?
If you're serious about driving sales opportunities and building relationships, you kind of need Sales Nav because it's going to speed things up. People work with people they know, like, and trust. That's just human nature, right? I'm telling everyone this when I train sellers. I'm like, you have to be known, liked, and trusted, period. And the easiest way to do that right now on B2B, there's more ways to do the hard stuff easier and faster.
What do you think AI might do to the social media, sort of like branding, marketing, let's just say the next sort of like 6 to 12 months?
The human connection and the realness is going to be more.
Welcome to Working On It, the podcast for service-based business founders who want to scale without burning out. Today's guest is Mandy McEwen. Mandy is the founder of Modgirl Marketing and a LinkedIn expert who's been recognized by LinkedIn itself as one of their top marketing voices. Now, thank you very much for listening, and let's dive into the episode.
Face again.
And you, whereabouts are you in, I guess, America now? Where are you?
I am. I'm in America. I leave for California tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Kansas right now, not with the background behind me. But I leave for Hawaii soon, in a few weeks.
That's
I'll
amazing.
be back in Hawaii.
I was only telling somebody before that about sort of like who I've got on coming on. I was telling them, like, you've got an amazing life. You just like travel all over the place, you know. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. It's fun, for sure.
So, Mandy, if I've done it right, have you been in like digital marketing for about 15 years and launched Modgirl and Luminetics? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I've been in digital marketing since 2007, but I launched my company Modgirl in 2010.
Okay.
So,
and
15 years.
Also built an AI version of yourself.
I built a lot of AI things, but yes, one of them is multiple versions of Mandy and a customer support, basically an AI coach Mandy that you can just call. It's my voice and my intellectual property, and then I cloned myself with some for fun on the video side as well. So yeah,
that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. What got you into marketing, and particularly LinkedIn, in the first place?
Oh man, Brad, that is a loaded question.
Yes, we do.
We don't have time. We don't have time.
Come on, tell us.
So it was really random. At university, I majored in psychology and Spanish, and I wanted to be a bilingual school psychologist. That was my dream job, and I ended up going into sales and then starting a marketing company. So really random. Honestly, I just kind of fell into it because I was obsessed with the internet back in the day, like 2007, and I did what everyone else did, Brad, and I literally went to Google and I typed in how to make money online. Yeah. That's literally what I did. Because I was like, I don't like working for people. This is lame. I don't want to do this. I was in home improvement sales, like face-to-face sales, you know? And I literally Googled how to make money online. And I think I just naturally, as a psychology major, like marketing is just kind of in me anyway, like in my blood. So it was easy. And I just figured it out, you know? I mean, let's get real. Nothing's easy, but you know, it came more natural to me. And then I just fell in love with online marketing. I taught myself everything, taught myself HTML and SEO. And I was building like websites from scratch. And I really just kind of fell into it because I wanted to make my own money, you know? And I loved computers and the internet back in the day. And I was like, there's gotta be a way to make money online. I'm going to figure it out. And that's kind of how it started.
So I guess like with that though, it's like they're kind of like, you actually had that proactive like drive in you to begin with, it sounds like not flow below the radar.
Yeah. I mean, I come from both of my grandparents were entrepreneurs. So like it's in my blood, you know, not my parents, but above, you
Skipped
know,
a generation.
both of their parents. And so, yeah, I just, Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they say it does, you know? So yeah, I just super, super driven. And it just led me to starting a marketing company because I was already working with business owners in my sales job. So I was doing like affiliate marketing stuff online. I was selling like dog treats and like randomness from these blogs I would build, but it wasn't enough money. So I'd make like
Yeah.
$10. You know, like I'd be like, oh, I got a $10 commission. I'm like, I can't quit my sales job with this money. I was like, why don't I do it for businesses? They
Yeah.
could pay me a lot more than these little products I'm selling. So that's kind of what started the evolution of me doing this for businesses, you know, because I did it for myself and would sell random products. And then I was working with small business owners in the Kansas City area. So actually, like roofers were my first client, like window companies and roofing companies. I was in the home improvement niche already. And so that was like my first set of clients were like local businesses, you know, chiropractors, roofers, window, you know, installers, that type of thing, because I was already in that niche. And then that just kind of started a company. I was like, oh, I guess I
Yeah.
can do something with this. Cool. And then that evolved obviously into what it is today, more B2B. I don't really do a
Yeah.
ton of B2C now, but it started as B2C, helping local businesses. And I was doing the traditional networking in person,
Yeah.
old school, you know, like going out and meeting these business owners in person and going to networking events in Kansas City. And that's kind of how I started my company. And then obviously a lot's
Yeah.
happened since then to evolve into
I mean,
what
I
it is
suppose you've
today.
had that curiosity, haven't you, at the beginning, for you to start typing on Google saying, look, it's got to be better than this. How do I get down this road, you know, and earn more?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was honestly, Brad, it was the freedom more than anything. It was more freedom over money, and I feel like that's how I've been my whole life, which is why I
Yeah.
live the life I live now, traveling and doing whatever the hell I want, you know. And so I was like, I don't want someone to tell me that I have to punch a clock
Yeah.
from 8 to 5 every day. I don't want to listen to some
Yeah.
asshole that I don't like, you know, like I don't want to do that. So it wasn't even like at the time, I wasn't even thinking financially. I was thinking like I want to be free and make my own money and not have to rely on someone
Yeah.
else, you know? And that was like been the driving force for everything. And I was like, I will work my ass off 80 hours a week
Yeah.
to be free versus 40 hours a week to be a slave for someone
Well, you've
else,
certainly
you
achieved
know?
that anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it all worked
exactly.
out.
Yeah. But I think it was that drive, though, that
But
curiosity and that drive, the passion that you had that's kind of just never say die, just constantly going, you know, when life throws some hurdles your way, you just kind of just overcome them, you know?
absolutely. Yeah, I'm a very, very determined person that doesn't take, you know, I won't stop until I get what I
Yeah, yeah,
want,
that's it. Yeah,
basically. So that's just inherently in me. Like I will do
yeah.
everything I need to do in order to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish, and
Do you know
nothing
what
can get
though?
in my
Like,
way.
because I've had a few like guests on and stuff, and speaking about this sort of thing and success and the difference between success and not success, whatever you measure success is. In your way, it was obviously the freedom, not being having to punch in the clock, etc. As you say, but I think it's having those characteristics
Mm-hmm.
of never say die, just never give up at the first answer. You just keep going, curiosity, drive, passion, all that sort of thing. I think there's like just seems to be quite consistent between all these people that do well and perhaps those that don't. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like you kind of have to have that because this is not an easy life being an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, like entrepreneur life is tough, and if you don't have that drive in you, like of course I've wanted to throw in the towel, like, you know, I've been frustrated many times over the course of 15 years. I'm just like, F this, it'd be easier to get a job, but like I didn't really like, I never really
Yeah,
would do that, you know, but like we all get frustrated. But if you don't have what we have in us as entrepreneurs, you're going to get eaten up alive and it's going to
yeah,
be too much for you, you know? So we all have that like passion and that drive to like, we are going to make this work, period. We will do whatever it takes to make this work. But a lot of people just don't have that. And that's fine. They're just not meant to be entrepreneurs, right? Like, I genuinely think it's not, it's, you can kind of learn some of this, but I genuinely think that some of us are just born
yeah.
with this in
I think
us,
you're
you
spot
know?
on there because likewise for those I've spoken to, they've had something from a younger age and they've just nurtured that and listened to it as well, not ignored it, and they've taken action on that. I think that's
Yep.
a huge, huge
Yep.
sort of like thing to differentiate between those that do well and those that don't, or finally go out and get what they want, and those that perhaps just ignore it and then put it to the side,
Yeah, absolutely. There's also this like, I don't know, what do they say? Like Delulu.
Oh, okay.
Like delusional.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
So the word is like Delulu, right? Like we have this almost delusional mindset that we almost have to have of like, yeah, these are my giant goals, and you might think I'm crazy, but like I'm going after it, and I'm not gonna stop. And so it's like you almost have to have that Delulu, as the younger kids say now.
Delulu,
as the Gen Z
I'm going to use that one.
Delulu. Yes. It's cute, but we almost have to be a little Delulu to do what we do.
But then when you make it, all of a sudden you're not as Delulu anymore, because now you're living the life that you wanted to live.
Exactly. Yep. Absolutely.
So ModGirl, what's the difference between ModGirl and Luminetics?
Yeah. So ModGirl is the agency, the OG digital agency that literally does everything. So we could do SEO, web design, any social media content, and then I run my influencer stuff through that as well when brands hire me, right? So it's kind of an overall digital marketing agency. We don't do a ton of the web design and SEO stuff anymore, a little bit. And then Luminetics is the LinkedIn training company. ModGirl's done a lot with B2C, as I told you, earlier. And that's all over our website. And I just didn't want to confuse people, because now with LinkedIn training and Luminetics, it's very much B2B social selling, all things LinkedIn. And I just needed something to differentiate them so people don't get confused. Okay. So that's the difference.
And so you touched there on SEO. Now I've got like my own little query, or inquiry, I don't know what you call it. But anyway, it's like, do you think with AI that the whole SEO thing, website stuff is kind of dying, or have I really misread it and actually it's getting better because of AI?
Yeah, really, really solid question. Because we're doing this right now in our own company. It is changing a lot, but they're kind of like going together now. The AI SEO and the SEO. So what we're doing, my biggest client right now, Brad, they found me in ChatGPT.
What, to search you on their app? Wow. So, right. I don't want to lose this. Let's come back to that in a sec, because I really want to ask about that. But yeah, sorry, you continue.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm doing it. Leads into what I'm getting ready to tell you, right? So they went in and they typed in something like, and she's actually in the UK, and she typed in like global modern LinkedIn training company that trains global teams, or something really very specific. And I popped up with like 5 other agencies, and I did not at the time have a blog on our Luminetics website, because we have 2 sites. We have ModGirl Marketing, which has had a blog literally since 2010. Tons of content there. And then we have Luminetics, which did not have a blog until just a few months ago because of this. And it still popped up. And I was like, this is fascinating. So I hired my friend, who I've known for years, to help me with SEO, because I just don't have time to do it. And now we are optimizing for Google and AI. And so there's ways you can do this and what AI looks for, right? So it's like those really long form articles that have the questions at the top. They're pretty detailed. They link out to other things. So AI is also looking for certain things, but it's going to help you with Google too. So it doesn't matter if someone is going to go to ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or wherever, or they go to Google. There's a way for you to optimize for all of them. And so that's what we're doing.
Because that was the question, is like, I did think, like, is SEO kind of, and the paid per clicks and all that lot, advertising, does that help as well with the chat? Because obviously, like, I don't really go on Google anymore. I just use, I rarely go on it anymore now. I use everything on chat. Exactly as your client found you is how I find things now. So, it took me about a couple of months whilst I was searching for anything. I'm like, hold on, how's people going to find me? Because if I'm doing this, how can people find me? So I then started looking into it, and it did mention about these blogs. It said, it's actual like story, like long form kind of content-ish, isn't it? Like you have to. So how would you do that then? Like, what's the best way of doing that so you can appear on these ChatGPT searches?
Yeah. So a lot of really good content, but what's working really well now, Brad, that you guys could do is like you could list your competitors, but put you as the top. Like anyone can do this, like top X, insert in your industry.
Yeah.
Anyone, right? Window cleaners, roofers, like what, LinkedIn social selling trainers. And you literally list out your competitors, but you're at the top. AI loves that stuff. They love when you throw people together in a list.
That's interesting.
And so they're going to pull from that because they think it's like a non-biased, you know what I mean, list of people. And so that's one easy way. We're going to start doing more of that, like literally listing my competitors and then putting me at the top because they love it. They eat that up. Same with Google. Google loves those too. So that's one thing. And then the other is just really helpful, detailed tips with, and you could put, because you and I talked about YouTube, right? You put your YouTube videos on these long form blogs that are giving people tips, and you sprinkle in images, you sprinkle in YouTube videos, and they're like basically become mini guides, right? So you could walk through step by step how to do something and then throw in a video link, throw in some images that are going to help people and just make it super thorough, obviously with keyword research. And that's going to work well too.
That's amazing, isn't it? Like, because all those years it was always SEO and the way it's just changed. But do you think it's changed so dramatically, so quickly? Or has this been going in for years in the background?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like it has changed dramatically in the last 12 months. But Brad, I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface of the change. I feel like it's about to get 100%. Really crazy soon. Like, yeah, we'll be talking in less than 12 months from now and we'll be like, oh, wow. You know, like you and I think that it's changed a lot recently. I don't think we have any idea of what's to come. You know, I think it's about to get crazy. But you're right. It has changed quite a bit because for the longest time, I mean, I've been doing this and I literally taught myself and learned SEO in 2007 and it was pretty much the same. Not, you know, give or take a few nuances that changed forever, like until just the last 18 months, really, you know, it's been pretty consistent. Of course, the Google algorithm, just like any algorithm, changes and there's different things, but the moment that, you know, I would say 2 years ago, ChatGPT and all these started becoming popular, that's when it started radically changing. And I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. I heard that Google is going to do away with search results and that it's all going to be AI.
So it'd be like a ChatGPT page.
That's what I've been hearing. Yeah, because Google, you know, when you type in Google now, AI pops up at the top, right? So they're saying that the whistleblowers are saying that Google is testing out in some countries, they're testing out 0 like search results and all AI. So it looks kind of like ChatGPT when you go to Google, but it's their own, you know, Google Gemini, etc. So that I hear that that's like that search results are going to completely change.
So when you go on a website and you do something, it links everything. So those people that are still left behind or currently it's working, but if they're not forward thinking, then they're just going to get left behind, aren't they? Rather quickly as well.
Yeah. I know, it's sad.
Crazy.
They're going to have to figure it out. Now, if you have a really good brand and people talk about you, that's going to help because they do look at that. They're looking at social signals as well, you know? So I think that's why I showed up without a blog on ChatGPT, because of my reputation. I've been doing this for so long and they can see that, you know, they see my social accounts, they see everything else with Mod Girl. So a lot of this too is a brand play. So even those older school companies, I mean, if they've had a brand for a long time and they get good reviews places, they might have a chance, right? But for those new companies, they're not going to have a chance unless they invest in doing this the right way.
That's it. I think it's because it searches so fast now that it can search probably hundreds and hundreds of bits of content and then perhaps puts it together itself to give you, like, if you said, okay, what's the top 5, I don't know, like window cleaning companies in London, it will probably search maybe 100, 200 different areas, wouldn't it? So like you say, if you've been around for a while and you've got good reviews, etc., not just on Google, but other platforms. But do you think LinkedIn plays a part in that? Like how active you are or not?
Yeah, I do. And they're saying that more and more, that like more of LinkedIn is getting indexed in Google. So I do think that the AI, the LLMs are looking at LinkedIn because so what I've read is that they're making it easier for, let's just throw in Google with the AI tools, LinkedIn is making it easier for those to be indexed, meaning other outside sources can read them, right? Certain posts and stuff. So I do absolutely think it helps. Honestly, Brad, I think any social media is going to help with what we're talking about here. And that's why like social media is so crucial for small businesses and any business, is to have an active presence on whatever channel your audience hangs out on, because these search engines and these LLMs, they're looking at that. Like this isn't just we're going to be sneaky and throw up some heavy keyword blog post, and like it's so advanced and complex now that brand is playing such a huge part in how stuff is being shown and seen. And these AI tools and search engines, they're pulling from every source they possibly can. So the more places that your business is seen, the better. Even like directories and other people's websites, collaboration, partners, podcasts that you were mentioned on, all of that
That's
matters.
crazy, isn't it? Because it's only like the last 12 months as sort of like personal branding been really, really publicized. Like, because Gary Vee talks about it, doesn't he? Like, he's been talking about it for a while, to be fair. But like all personal branding, the key person of influence, all that sort of stuff is really going to win the day in time to come.
Yeah, I mean, it has been for years. It's just more people are catching on now, right? I mean, I've been literally preaching about personal branding for over 10 years now.
Hence like Luminetics and Modgirl.
So like this is nothing new. It's in my industry, it was like marketers, like this is like personal branding we've been literally doing, and people have been paying us for over a decade to do this for people. So in the marketing world, like this is normal, but like everyone else is just now catching on that like, oh yeah, we've been preaching this for a hot minute now, and you guys are finally paying attention.
Yeah.
Finally.
So it's one of the things that's been around for ages, but now it's finally getting the attention, like you say. So when on LinkedIn, now let's so focus on LinkedIn, my own personal education here. Is there any difference between when you do a post with just script or just still image or video, or or a collection of all, or what's your thoughts on sort of like the actual content of what does really well and engages the most or promotes engagement?
Yeah. So LinkedIn wants you to switch it up. They don't want you to post the same thing over and over again. So it's important that you're posting different types of content, from videos to nothing, just text only, to an image, maybe a carousel, like the PDF thing you can swipe through. And the algorithm is changing so much, as you know, Brad, from what you do on your end. Like you've seen a change in what's been happening, right? Since you and I even worked together. So video is so weird. Video drives a lot more trust and engagement and revenue, but the impressions aren't the greatest right now. It changes, it goes up and down. So any image with humans in it, selfies, pictures of you, your team, etc., those are always going to perform well on LinkedIn, but I don't think it's the algorithm. I think it's just people that like people, like we're going to resonate when we see people's faces. But the text only posts work really well if you can really hit like a trigger with people. That hook is the most important thing when it's only text, because they have nothing else to look at. So they don't have a video, they don't have an image. So your very first sentence better be really freaking good if you're just going to do text only, But there's no like, this one thing works amazing. Polls, I still post polls randomly. They do well. It's just so random that it's mostly just about consistency and trying different formats and seeing what sticks in your messaging.
Yeah, it's so true what you say about the pictures, the still images. Because when I look back at mine, they're the ones that have most impressions. And then you think, that literally took me like a couple of seconds to do. And then you're like, a video, you think, that took me half a day. So it's just crazy.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's why it's kind of frustrating, is because you spend so much time, making a video or something. And then you're like, really? The post that took 2 seconds is going to get 10 times more impressions? I know. That's why it's a good thing to have a mix of those, though. Like, you kind of need those random, personal, off-the-cuff things, Also to seem human, but to also make the algorithm
it's sort of like a double-edged sword, isn't it, really, there? You've got to sort of play both at the same time, So it's, I suppose it's what your end result, what you want your end result to be, I guess, will probably tell you the rules of the game that you get to play. But, So with that, do you think, and I think I've asked you this before, but just for the sake of this, You know, you've got more and more platforms now where they say, okay, you can upload your entire content a week in advance, month in advance. Do you think that plays a part in how the engagement is or how the algorithm works, perhaps? I don't understand it. Or do you post on the actual app itself? What do you think is better, or are they pretty much the same?
I
Okay.
schedule most of my posts, so
Right.
I don't think it matters. I schedule it natively on LinkedIn.com, though. I don't use a third-party tool to schedule. That may or may not play a difference. There's so many different thoughts on this. Some people say it doesn't matter at all. Some people say they can tell a difference when they use a third-party tool, but I can say conclusively with everyone I've talked to that's also an expert in the space that when you schedule natively on LinkedIn, you're not going to notice
Oh,
much of a
really?
difference, right? Now, yeah, that's what they say, at least. I haven't noticed much of a difference. Like when I post, like I don't schedule every single post. Like today I posted natively, like right before I got on with you, I posted something, right? So it's not like every single post of mine is like that, but I would say 70%, 60, 70% of my posts are probably used scheduled, and I cannot tell a difference, Brad. So I think it's all about, I think we need to quit worrying about the algorithm and do what works best for our lifestyle and the time we have, and trying out enough content to test out and give people value. You know, like that's what we need to worry about, and less about like these nuances of the
Yeah, I
algorithm.
think that's so true. And it goes back to like what your end result, what you want your end result to be, to how you play it. And of course, your life as well, as you say, the time that you have. But also, I
Yeah,
find it like a not a directory, but like a website, isn't it? Like you say to people, like, okay, where can I find you? And I'm finding that I'm mentioning LinkedIn, my LinkedIn account, more than I am my website. And I'm like, oh, we'll go here because it's got like
I
all the
love that.
projects on there. It's got like you can see the
Mhm.
consistency of the posts. That you can just look through the story of how it's been the last month and 6 months and so on. And I think that's it's actually becoming
Mhm.
like your own personal story in a sense, isn't it? Really, like of your journey.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's smart. I mean, you're doing it the right way because it builds more trust when people see your LinkedIn, right? So if I were to go to your company website, I'm not going to get that human feel that I feel when I go to your LinkedIn, because then I feel like I get to know you pretty well by looking at your posts, what you have on there, your videos, and I can instantly within 90 seconds feel the type of
Yeah,
person you are, and like and your people and the type of business owner you are. But if I'm on your website, I can figure that out, but I have to scroll quite a bit, read some stuff, So you're absolutely right. It's almost like an instant trust
it's
builder when
it's
you
so
send
good
people
because
there.
that word trust, I think that's really important in say sales, but kind of doing a deal, like people buying exactly what you're selling in a sense, I think it really is trust because it's like that
Exactly.
human to human element, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in my slide decks, I'm like, people work with people they know,
Yeah.
like, and trust.
Yeah.
That's just human nature, right? I'm telling everyone this when I train sellers. I'm like, you have to be known, liked, and trusted, period. And the easiest way to do that right now on B2B is, and for you even, like, honestly, it's crazy too how many other like types of businesses outside of tech are leveraging, because in the back of the in the day it was like mostly tech companies and or B2B service providers. There are so many people
Yeah.
now using LinkedIn to drive
Yeah.
results for their business that are not your traditional like B2B type companies,
Yeah.
right? You are one of them, but there's so many others. Like I'm working now with more non-tech companies than ever before. I mean, I have the most random clients that you wouldn't think. You're like, oh, huh, okay, you have an active target market on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. Cool. And so, but it's amazing to see because I think more business owners and entrepreneurs need to like think about this. Like it is actually a viable, networking and business growth platform for a lot of businesses. The bottom line is, can you find your target
Yeah.
audience on LinkedIn?
And
Period. And if so, then you should probably look into
well, that was
maximizing
that
that.
was my original question. So like 2 Aprils ago, when I first begun the LinkedIn journey for myself personally, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
where am I going to find a target audience? And it wasn't. We do B2B too, and it wasn't.
Yeah, you're B2B,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
different
yeah. It's more of a
B2B.
personal B2B, even if that's a thing. But
Yes.
it does seem a lot more personal, you know. But
well, and it's just different industries, you know, that you're like what you guys do, right? So yeah, you're selling to businesses, but you're not thinking of like it's when you think about it, it's like a totally different type of, you know, B2B, almost local, like local B2B, right? Versus like these software companies that are like enterprise sales with these long sales cycles. Yours is more of that, like you said, like relationship building, local, like you guys are like in person helping them, you know, do the job that they hired you to do. So it's more of like a B2C feel, but B2B, right? With what you do. And so it's like, but people aren't thinking like you do. Like you're way ahead of the curve and thinking like, oh, I could use LinkedIn for this. Most people don't have that mentality that you do that are in your type of business, which is amazing that you're kind of like showing people that, like, look what it's done for my business. They're not thinking like that, you know? And I love that you've done that and cracked that open and you're like, it's working.
Yeah, I mean, it's very true actually. And I wanted to claw some information from you as much as possible to, you know, to send it out because I know you've got so much, but just quickly on my own personal experience, it's taken a long while for me to get that and to have that belief of if I just keep doing this and getting zero return, zero engagement for about 6 to 8 months. And it's only like last October, November time that suddenly I got my first inquiry, but it was like I cherry picked it. And every inquiry since, I only get a couple a month, but at the moment, but every single one of them is bang on target. It's like I've gone out and I said, right, if I want to do a contract in London, what's my perfect contract? But yet they're coming to me. And I think it's because of that story, that journey has been shown during, like you say, they're probably jumping on the LinkedIn profile, like you said, 90 seconds, said, you know what, this is the guy for us. Or not, maybe, of course, it's either or. But it's the ones that do send that inquiry through are just bang on. They're absolutely bang on, you know? So I think but it's the fact of having that faith in the journey that it will come good at some point that kind of keeps you going because you're going to get nothing for like eight months minimum, you know? So it's just keeping that going, you know, that consistency, you know?
And most people aren't like, they don't want to keep going like you did, you know, and everyone says this. Everyone's like, it's going to take you a minimum of 6 months, just like you said, like minimum of you doing the same thing and being consistent for 6 months before you get a whole lot of traction. That's just how it is, you know? It's not instant gratification. We're going to throw up a Google ad and get leads, you know? Do that. Like, obviously, do whatever you got to do to keep the leads coming in. But this is such a long-term play that requires patience and consistency, which you obviously stuck with it, and it's worth it. Do you think it's worth it?
Well, let me tell you, we've shut off all other marketing in our company because the leads that we're getting through LinkedIn and of course referrals as well. But it's the leads we're getting through LinkedIn are just on point. You think, well, why are we spending anything and take a gamble? And we get 1 out of 4 that are on point. But on LinkedIn, it's just bang on point. Every single one. I've not had one bad one. And it's brilliant.
I love this. I'm using this quote for a testimonial.
No problem at all. I do mention that you're the one that got me started, so it's fine. That's no problem at all.
No, it was all, I just helped a little baby amount. The rest was you, but I'll take a little baby account for you getting started. Like at least, come on, you got this, Brad. Here's what you need to get started. But the rest,
thanks very much. Well, you certainly got me started, and that was, you know, planted the seed. So Sales Nav.
Love it.
So would you say that to build a good LinkedIn profile, now I know I went with Sales Nav and it really, really helps me, but that's my opinion. But would you say that you need Sales Navigator to promote your profile, or do you think you can do it organically just on LinkedIn?
It depends on how much time you're spending on like prospecting, right? So for me, if you're serious about driving opportunities, sales opportunities, and building relationships, you kind of need Sales Nav because it's going to speed things up. And at minimum premium, because you're going to be really limited on what you could do with the free version of LinkedIn, if you're doing this for prospecting also, not just personal branding, because the whole point is we're going to send connection requests every single day. You know, you can send up to 100 a week minimum. Sometimes you can send more than that if you have the paid accounts. So it just makes your life harder when you don't have it and you're doing that. But if the individual's not going to spend the time on the LinkedIn platform to do what's needed, then they don't need sales nav. But if they're going to spend the time, 15, 30, 45 minutes, an hour a day to do what needs to be done to drive results, then sales nav is just going to make it way easier and faster to get where they want to go.
So I suppose that would be like a way of, like, if you want to get fit, you could go for a walk or you go to the gym and kind of do some things. But if you're really serious, get yourself a personal trainer or something like that in a way, or have a structured workout.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, because this is like the serious. You're right. Like, this is like you're getting serious. Like, when you have sales nav and you actually use it, that's serious social selling. When you don't have it, you can do quite a bit if you have the premium. It's just going to take you longer, and it's going to be less organized because there's no like list built. You can't build lists, you can't write little notes down. So it's like you're going to have to do some manual work, maybe start your own spreadsheet. It's just going to be more of a hassle, right? If you're doing it consistently. Now, if you're only doing it like once a week, then you probably don't need sales nav. Unless that once a week you're spending like 90 minutes or 2 hours, then that's different, But if you're just hopping in once a week for 15 minutes to send connection requests, then sales nav would be pointless.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you can see that. It's just, I guess it's the aggression you want to take, isn't it? And how much you want to grow in which time. If you're just on there for a profile and then just take it in your own stride, have the unpaid version. But yeah, I mean, I was the opposite though. I didn't want to go aggressive. So that's why I got you to train me and went the full package. And I can say no regrets from my point of view. Everything's been absolutely brilliant. So yeah, but just wanted to put that out there.
Good.
So just on the LinkedIn profile, now I know obviously they can come to you and get trained how to do it fully, but is there any, let's say 3 areas that you think would make a good LinkedIn profile? So say if I was just starting out on LinkedIn and I wanted to make a bit of an impact, what do you think the key areas you should look at for your profile?
Yeah, the headline is the most important. I mean, let's back up. Make sure you have a headshot that people can see. A lot of people have their settings messed up on the back end where no one can see their face, but first degree connections. So that's like rule number 1, go and look at your privacy settings and make sure everyone can see your headshot and that you actually have one. And then put a cover photo image too. Doesn't matter what it is, something random that looks good. But aside from those things, the headline is the most important because it tells people what you do instantly. And the biggest mistake people make, especially small business owners, is they're literally just put their owner at ABC
you told me about this.
Right? Founder at no one knows what you do if that's the case, right? I mean, they might, depending on your business name, might be able to figure it out, but you need to put the value of what you provide. So that value statement needs to be in your headline. And then from there, and so we have a Lumina AI tool that does this, that writes profile copy for you. And so these are like the sections that we focus on. It's like the headline, the about section, the experience section. But I would say the second one would be the about section, telling your story, why you do what you do, how you help, throwing in some testimonials. And then I would say the next one, because I'm just going in order of like when you visibly look at a profile, is those featured links or those services or both, right? So there's a services section you can add that lets you put in testimonials or a video or whatever if it is applicable to your business. The services are really strange, some of them that they offer. You can't type it in. You have to just do what Google. You have to do, now that we're talking about Google, I'm like, Google. Not Google. I know, wrong one. You have to do what LinkedIn tells you. You can't just like make up, words. So not every business this is going to be applicable for, but absolutely the featured links area or featured media, because again, you can add links to your website, case studies, testimonials, a post that did well, whatever you want people to see. I feel like those are the most important areas because those are building trust instantly and telling people what you do.
Yeah, that's it. And also, the references, the references part where you can request, is that recommendations?
The recommendations.
Is that?
Yeah. Absolutely get those. You know what's funny about culturally with you all in the UK and Europe? I'm gonna lump you in with Europe because you guys are super similar in this sense, the UK and Europe versus Americans. It's so different. Like in America, we're like, we want to get as many recommendations as we possibly can. You guys are like, it seems a little fake if I have a ton of recommendations. I just want really good ones from people I know, and I don't need 70 of them. And us Americans are like, we need 700 recommendations. But you guys are so different. I love it. I love training the UK and European teams because you guys are like, it's a little sus that you have 70 recommendations. And I'm like, okay, fine, just get 3. Just get 3 really good ones minimum, and you're cool. But I think that they're super important. I love them. But there is like a cultural difference between like how many you guys feel like is acceptable and how many we feel like we want.
It's so true. And I've got to admit, you're absolutely spot on, because I think I've got about 7. After that, I was like, perhaps I'm pestering people now. It's so funny you mentioned 7.
You guys are way too polite. We're just like, we like don't care. We're like, we're going to blast everyone and ask for a recommendation. You guys are like, no, I don't think that's necessary.
That's it. I've asked once, that'll do.
I'm like, whatever. Yes. We hound them, us Americans. We don't care.
So with that though, do you remember your thing that you said about consistency, about like post and like commenting on other people's So now I find, and when you first told me that, I kind of didn't quite get it. I'm like, how's that going to help me? But then it was like, after I realized, it really helps build relationships and also like engagement. Am I right? Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, what's crazy now, Brad, is there, you know how you can see your impressions on your comments?
Oh, yes.
Now? There are so many people. Yeah. So they're almost like encouraging this now, because they're like, LinkedIn is putting in analytics for us. That's like, this many people, impressions, saw your comment. This many people visited your profile from your comments. These are all newish things in the last year that they started doing. So they're really playing up and they're pushing us to leave more comments. And some people are getting significantly more impressions on their comments than their own posts.
That's crazy
right now. So it is. So not only is it good for relationship building, but it's a good way to get visibility when you do it, consistently.
That's quite new, isn't it? That showing the impressions on your comments. It is, isn't it? I've only noticed. Yeah, that's it.
I've only this year.
Even more recent than that. I've only noticed it recently.
I would say like a few months ago, probably.
Because I think with that though, it really helps you. Well, obviously now it's the impressions as well, like you say, that visibility. But I think before I never really understood the value of it to begin with, but I really do now. But you have your daily thing. Is it 5? Yeah, and
5 comments a day. Yep.
So you got 5
and
comments
what?
a day.
What else?
You got 5 minutes of. You have your, is it 5, your 15 minutes, isn't it? 5 comments.
Oh yeah.
Let's run through them.
Okay, so before you post content, I want you to comment 15 minutes before and after you post, because that trains the algorithm that you're active. And so and I don't even do this myself that much, to be honest, because I'm so busy lately. So do as I say, not as I do. I'm admitting this. Ideally, let's just say even 5 minutes, like 5 to 15 minutes before you hit the post button, you should go and start leaving comments on your prospects post, industry leaders post, teammates, whatever, because that's going to trigger the LinkedIn algorithm to say this person is active and they're using the platform to engage, and they're going to show your post to more people. And then same when you do it after, right? So go and do the same thing after you post, leave comments on other people's posts, and obviously respond to the comments on your own. But it does make a difference.
So it's almost like warming up the algorithm. Then you post. Yeah,
you are warming it up.
I didn't know that. That's really interesting.
Yep. Yeah. It helps. So again, I don't have time to do this a lot, so I don't do it often. If I do, it's like 2 minutes before I post. But when I have time, if you do it, it does actually.
Well, you got your executive assistant now doing it anyway, haven't you? So it's
Actually, she doesn't.
Oh, really?
I need to find a new one. She doesn't work anymore. Yeah.
Wow.
6 years.
That's probably why you're super busy.
That's okay. She got a better situation. For her family, so it's fine. It's all good. But I actually don't have anyone right now. That's why I'm running around like a crazy woman, handling all of this stuff. And I'm prioritizing sales and obviously revenue right now. So. Sometimes even as a LinkedIn trainer, I kind of let
that's it. Well, it's human, isn't it? Things gets in the way. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. And that's the thing. It's like we are all trying to drive revenue, whether you're a business owner or you're in sales. At the end of the day, like, revenue is
Yeah,
driving everything. So sometimes stuff has to take a
definitely.
backseat. Like, you got to prioritize what matters. And even for me, like, as someone who lives and breathes LinkedIn, sometimes I just can't do what needs to be done on LinkedIn, and I got to prioritize sales calls and proposals and closing and my current clients
Yeah.
that are paying me. And if I miss a day of posting, okay, if I only comment one time per day, well, that's
Yeah,
all I could do. And that's just going to have to
exactly.
be it.
So funny you mentioned about the posting. What do you think is a good number of posts per week? Varying them, obviously, video, carousel, text, and image. What do you
Mhm.
think might be a good number? As long as let's assume you've got good quality, because that's the one thing, isn't it? It's good quality content at least, a
Yeah.
message, something helpful, something people's actually going to engage in and read. So let's assume you got that. What is a
Mhm.
good number, or is there even a good number?
Well, that's a loaded question, because if we're talking to someone who doesn't post at all, then I would say
Right.
try to post 2 times a week, right? If we're coming with someone who hasn't been consistent at all, or maybe their last post was 3 months ago, just try to get 2 posts up a week. If you can only get one, that's fine. Once you start getting comfortable with 2 posts a week, then you should ramp up to 3 posts a week. And that is kind of like my baseline, is like, try to get three
Right.
posts a week out there, period. Like, I don't think you need more than that if you're just starting to, like, warm this up. Now, of course, I'm going to say daily for those people who want to get serious, post every day. But I would never tell someone who is looking to do this, what you and I do, I would never tell them you need to start posting daily. Like, that's just not realistic for people, because that's not in their habit
Yeah.
like it is
Yeah.
you and me now, right? So for people that aren't used to this, I'm like, start small. Just do two and try to work up to 3 times a week. And if you're cool with 3 times a week, see how it goes. Keep doing it. Then when you feel more comfortable, you can sprinkle in a few more posts. And if you can get up to that every single day, or five, you don't have to do weekends if you don't want, 5 days a week, amazing. But I don't expect that from
Yeah.
people. So it's cool if you can do that, but I don't think it's necessary,
Yeah. I mean, I
really.
think also with the things like with the weekends, you mentioned about the weekends there. Do you think there's any difference in the weekends or not much at all? Oh, there is.
Yes. Weekends
Oh,
are
okay.
crazy. Yeah, weekends are different. I like the weekends, but I don't have. I also, like, try to. I mean, I work a lot. I'm an entrepreneur, but I try to
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
life too. Shockingly,
Yeah.
I do try to have a life with my travel. I try to have fun, so I'm not super consistent on the weekends. Like last weekend, I didn't post at all. Some weekends I post, like, maybe on Saturday or Sunday. I rarely post both Saturday and Sunday, but I will say people are more engaged on weekends to talk about, like, random stuff that is not 100% work related, but you can get into some, like, conversations with people on the weekends because their
Yeah.
mindset is different. They're
Yeah.
not in work mode, right? So you can get on, and even if it is like a work topic, I feel like I can get more conversations started on weekends when I have the time. I actually kind of like the weekend posts, because people are in a different frame of mind, and it's easier to get seen too.
Yeah,
It's less
I think it
noisy,
is that, isn't it?
you
Less
know.
noisy. That you sort of got it there. Really,
Mhm.
it's so true because you get more engagement with it, like conversations, as you say. People are more relaxed, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. So I feel like I always tell people,
Yeah.
like, test out
Why
weekends,
not?
see what happens.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Why not?
So
Exactly.
AI,
Exactly.
what? And I know this is really difficult. This is the funny thing. People predict AI is going to do this and going to do that. You think, well, AI is already more intelligent than anyone anyway, so we don't really know what's going to happen. You can have a guess. So, with
Uh
that in
huh.
mind, let's have a guess of what you think AI might do to the social media, sort of like branding, marketing. Let's say that we can't say years. Let's just say the next sort of like 6 to 12 months. What do you think would change?
Oh man, so much. Um, so I'm already, like, all in on all things AI, and my programs all have custom GPTs with them. So we have an online curriculum for all things LinkedIn social selling and personal branding, and I have a custom GPT for everything. And our most popular one is our LinkedIn post writer. And it helps people write really amazing LinkedIn posts. So, and you can, like, I call it the Lumi clone writer. Like, it can match your tone and voice, but also in a way that gets results on LinkedIn. It has the hook, all the things. So I feel like there's going to be more ways to do the hard stuff easier
Yeah.
and faster. And what I mean by that is coming up with content, making videos, scheduling. I mean, as a social media marketer, I've been doing this forever. There's already been tools out there that does some of this for the last several years, but it's now getting to a place where we can highly personalize it, everything, you know? And I think that we'll be able to create a lot more highly personalized agents, if you will, with these tools that like they know you, they know what you want, they know your tone, they know your audience, they can tell you what you need to write about faster and quicker because they're scanning stuff, they're scanning the internet, they know social media and who is talking about what, you know. And that's been going on, like social listening tools we've had forever, but not in like a super advanced way that I think it's getting to right now, you know. And so I think it's just, we're going to have clones like I have, like we can clone ourselves, that it can learn every social media platform and the way it writes. Like I've nailed down the LinkedIn part of it with my AI tool, but we're going to have that for all of them. And then we're going to have little robot assistants that can do it all for us.
That's so true. It is, isn't it? It's crazy. It's limitless. It's absolutely limitless at the moment.
It is. It's wild to think about, but I will say this caveat here. I think because of this, the human connection and the realness is going to be more important than ever, you know? So those off the cuff posts that don't sound so perfect and AI-ish, but that's the cool thing with AI is it could mimic that to where you don't think it is, right? But what I mean by that too is like not a bunch of AI generated images and AI generated videos. Like people still want to see real people that don't have a million filters on, that is not an AI image of you. And they want to see the real you on camera, not AI Mandy on camera, which I do have sometimes for fun, you know? But like AI Mandy's not going to replace real Mandy, you know? So I feel like with all of this happening, Brad, like it's still so important to show like the real you.
I mean, I could be talking to the AI Mandy right now. You might be already on the beach.
I wish I had. I know, right? It's so funny when I do podcast episodes, everyone says that, like, is this real Mandy or AI Mandy? I'm like, if I could get AI Mandy to do podcast episodes, damn,
I'm sure it won't be long.
I know, right? Soon.
With that then, what do you think the next sort of like, let's say 2 years is what's Luminetics and ModGirl going to look like in 2 years? What's your goal? What's your vision? What's your sort of like service you want to deliver?
Yeah. I want to be an end-all, be-all for small to medium-sized businesses when it comes to LinkedIn social selling. So I want to provide the platform and the tools that anyone, regardless of how big you are, if you're a one-person sales shop or a 500-person sales shop, can come in, learn how to capitalize on the power of LinkedIn, learn social selling, learn how it works, learn how to build a personal brand, and have the tools to do it, right? So that is my vision. Like I want Lumi and Luminetics to be a part of millions of people's LinkedIn journey. And they can do it on demand or they can have us helping, right? But I really am leaning into AI because it's helping so many people understand this quicker and start building their personal brand faster than they could do alone. And it's a lot less stressful for people because before AI, it's daunting for people who don't have a marketing background like I do, right? And mine is self-taught marketing. It's not like I went to school for marketing. But I've been doing it for so long that it's daunting for most people that don't have that. They're like, God, I don't know what to say to people. I don't know what to post, you know? I don't know what to do. And so my goal is to make it as easy and seamless as possible for as many small business and small to medium-sized businesses.
Do you know what? It's really true that you say that because I'm in sort of like a couple of inner circles, like mastermind groups and such. And the amount of people, like they've got WhatsApp groups and such. And it's funny, actually, I just realized that a lot of people talk about more personal like vibes and feelings at the weekend. So it's funny we mentioned about the LinkedIn thing because even on this group, it's the same thing. So and they talk about, look, we have no idea. And so just last weekend in England, it was like bank holiday weekend. So it's even a longer weekend than usual. And it's funny how people mention about, like, I don't understand AI. How am I going to really use this on social media and stuff? So it's really good that you've got that service where you're doing the legwork, let's say, for them to have the knowledge of how to leverage AI and what to post about. But you're using your AI tools, which I'm sure is tailored around LinkedIn and how to help build your profile with that in mind, like not just sort of like a random AI tool and it can build anything. It's like it's focused just on LinkedIn and your own personal branding. So that's brilliant. I can really see that being a success, because I know that's like I might even give you a call after this to talk about this, because sometimes you do struggle you struggle to think of something what to post, when you're doing it all day, you're doing your agenda, like, oh, what can we write about this week, or what can we talk about, and it is a struggle sometimes, and you're not in the right mindset, you've got things going on, and you think, I don't really want to think about this right now. So it's great that you've got that, it's really good.
Yes. Yeah, it helped. It's a very popular offering right now that I think I'm going to lean into more, because that's what everyone wants, and they're like seeing crazy results from it. And I'm like, okay, now I know. I have all these things, and then of course on the back end they're like, oh, but I do need that, and I need that, and you know what I mean. But it always starts with like the posting, because it really is daunting for people to think about that, and it's stressful, it's time consuming. They don't know if people are going to like it. They don't know if it's the right way, and so it just takes all that away. And then they instantly can use this tool to do that. And it's like amazing. I actually did a demo in Spanish yesterday, Brad, and I sold a team in Argentina. I speak un poquito español. Estudié en España, pero hace muchos años. Been a long time since I lived in Spain. I studied Spanish, but I forgot a lot. So I'm talking to this team. They have me on the big screen. They're in Argentina, and they're sitting around a table. One of them is speaking English. The rest are speaking Spanish to each other. And I was able to pull up my custom GPT Lumi that writes these LinkedIn posts, and I said a little bit in Spanish, mostly English, and I typed it up, and it spit it out in Spanish. And I was like, está bien, this is good. They're like, sí. They really liked it. And I was like, this is amazing, Brad, because now I can do sales calls in any language. I just need one English speaker in the room, just one to translate. But I'm able to show you, like, I now can do this in any language thanks to AI.
That is just insane.
It is crazy, and it was pretty freaking good. I know, and so I'm like, God, I guess I need to get the Portuguese market. I need to get all these markets now, because I'm like, now I'm getting all these leads in Latin America, which is amazing, and I'm like, I think I could do something here with this, not just in English,
But do you know what? So many people would be scared to even go down this road. But the fact that I think it goes right back to the very, very beginning, your curiosity and sort of like never giving up attitude is really coming through on this project as well at the moment. It's brilliant.
Absolutely. I'm almost too curious in life. Sometimes it gets me in trouble, my curiosity, but sometimes it pays off in big ways.
It is at the moment.
But yeah, my curiosity with AI, like I instantly was like, this is insane. 2 years ago, I was like, I got to figure this out. This is going to happen, and it's been a long journey to get where I am now to figure all this out. But now I'm like, this is amazing. And now I'm just so excited to see what else we can do with this. And now I'm just okay, let's get it in front of more people. Like, that's my mode now. It's like, I've built all of this. It's amazing. I know it's working. I have proof of concept of hundreds, actually thousands of people that have gone through this. And now I'm like, okay, now I'm in growth mode and sales mode to see how we can scale this, because it is truly incredible. And the crazy thing is, Brad, is it's changing so much. Like, it's evolving so fast. It's like, even for me, I'm like keeping up, like, it's insane. But I still think I'm ahead of 90% of people they're just not even using AI like this, they're just going to ChatGPT and asking questions, so I still think I'm ahead of the curve there. But man, it's rapidly developing and evolving.
I was going to say that just before you mentioned it there, I already think you're probably even more than 90%, perhaps even sort of like 95, 98% even, because so few people, I think people are more scared of it. So they don't want to go any near it. But I think it's those that sort of going head on, like you say, your curiosity, I think is really going to win, or certainly put you so advanced, ahead of everyone else. It's quite amazing. So that's it.
That's the plan. Yeah, that's it.
The plan. Well, Mandy. So last thing is just, where can anyone find you? Where's the best place to find you and get in contact?
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna say, man.
Yes,
LinkedIn.
Gotta be.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Mandy McEwen. Everything is linked on my LinkedIn. So send me a connection request, send me a message.
Brilliant. Mandy, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on. And I can't wait to see
thanks for having
how
me on. This has been fun.
Evolves. It's absolutely brilliant. It's so exciting. Thanks very much, then. Yeah,
Well,
speak to you
thanks so much,
soon.
Brad.
Cheers, Anne.
Appreciate you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
All right. Bye.